The course lasted for 6 weeks and very physically demanding. There was a lot of muscle work and heavy mental strain too. We had to score over 70% in 3 categories. Shooting, fitness was a piece of cake for me, and theory, not so much a piece of cake for me. There was not enough sleep. We averaged only 2 to 3 hours a night and far too much PT. The mental strain exhausted us. Live ammo was used in various drills and a lot of practice fighting took place between the guys. It was the most demanding course I would ever attend during my police career. At the end of it, we returned to the base in Donata to do abseiling, our fitness test and theory exam. I had already scored in the 80s at the shooting range for my test. Only 4 of us scored over 70. I was quite pleased. However, I was shitting myself at the thought of abseiling. I was scared of heights. We went to the SAP's East Rand headquarters, 16-story building in Springs. It looked even higher from the top, and still, when you're climbing over the parapet wall on the roof to do your first jump, I swore that I swayed as well. My first descent began slowly. The instructors eased me over the waist-high wall on the edge of the precipice. I was dangling like a wind chime. It was not a good feeling, but it was a matter of you have to do it or you're out. I soon got the hang of it. In fact, it became a lot of fun within the first few meters, and I sped down with rising excitement. When I landed on the pavement, I had this big grin on my face. I ran to the lift, raced back up to the start point. I was hooked already. Before long, I was making the whole 16 stories in one jump. It was truly one of the most exhilarating experiences I've ever done. Next on the agenda was the fitness test, and it was a real letdown for me. The day before, I'd sprained my ankle on an obstacle course. Since then, I'd actually felt that I'd broken my ankle. I was trying to get across a monkey bar with a gas mask on. Everything was magnified slightly and because of the glass. And when I jumped off the bar, the ground seemed closer than it was. I misjudged it and came down skew on my right ankle. I had my standard canvas boots on, but they didn't help. I heard the bone go crack. The pain was excruciating. I actually cried real tears. I think the ankle was broken because I still have trouble with it to this day. I could probably click it for you right now. Yeah, there we go. I couldn't go to see the doctor though, as he would have been obliged to take me off the course. On the other hand, if I didn't take the fitness test, it would mean the end of my course, and I'd have to start again. I would have to report to the next course and start again. That was obviously not an option for me. I would have to grit my teeth real hard and get on with it. So here I was at the start of the fitness test, which was a 5-kilometer run. The pain damn near killed me, but I managed it in 17 minutes, hopping most of the way. Then I had to go straight into 60 seconds of push-ups, as many as you can do in that time. I did 82. After that, I went directly into 2 minutes of sit-ups. Again, as many as you can do in 2 minutes. I did 122. Next up was 10 by 25 meter sprints, back and forth. This really murdered my ankle. I can't recall how I did it, but I don't think it was good. The next exercise sounds easier than it is. As many chin-ups as you can do without a limit. Following other tests, this was a real killer. There's no rest between exercises, and you're pretty well buggered by this time. My ankle was throbbing, and I was right out of breath. I managed 32 pull-ups. All in all, I scored 82%. A week before, I had managed 96%, the highest score ever achieved on this course. Although my ankle had let me down, I was still happy with the result. Now, it was time for the theoretical part of the test. Oh man, I was really nervous and worried. But when I looked at the paper, I realized that the examiners weren't interested in asking trick questions. They only wanted to see whether you could apply what you had learned. I aced it, and it felt great, with a score of 92%. I had assimilated the data needed to do the job. I was ready for the task ahead. It was one of the proudest days of my life. 3 out of 47 passed, and passed the course, and were selected for the reaction unit. Ernest Mallet, Occy Pretorius, and myself. The three of us stood there on the parade ground and had our wings pinned on our chest in front of the whole unit. The ceremony was informal. Riot cops are not much for big functions, unless it involves free booze and getting shit-faced. I was now an official member of the Riot Unit's elite, the East Rand Reaction Unit. I felt like I had really achieved something big. Cool. So that's the end of chapter 2. We go to chapter 3, and that's called Here We Go. So yeah, this course was really hard. And any of you out there who've done something like that, you'll know what I'm talking about. So yeah, follow the channel. Let's have some fun with this book. It'll start to get interesting around about this point. Okay, see you next time.